tests like SAT, IELTS, managing the school stuff as the head student representative, learning international language, learning web development, learning different robotics aspects, and also managing studies. I have a question for you all. How many of you think that it's possible for a kid of 16 to 17 years old to manage that all stuff in his or her daily routine? How many of you think that? Just raise your hand. Well, as 90% of you don't think that, so from that I'll start. Assalamu alaikum everyone, I'm Faryal Mansoor, and everything that I have just stated, that was me, and that kid was actually me doing all this stuff. My journey started a very long ago when I was 4 to 5 years old kid. I did my first speech when I was in school. I was Montessori student and very much innocent, and everyone praised it. Well, I myself don't remember that. My parents used to tell that to me, that when they entered the parents-teacher meeting, everyone surrounded them and everyone was like appreciating how such a small kid can do that, how such a young kid can do that. Well, from that moment onwards, in 13 years education tenure, I was the student who was intelligent, who was active, who was, perfect in all aspects. Confident, mature, understanding, active in everything, served as head girl. For 13 years, I was the perfect kid. Now, during that 13 years, somehow, now you might feel like that, how good it is. But here's the harsh thing. Somehow, during that 13 years, I built up a mindset where I thought that I'm the best. I'll be the perfect one in the room every time I enter it. In a random school, in a random competition, I'll go on a stage, I'll present something, and I'll rock it. I'll own the stage. Well, that was the mindset that was inbuilt in me from my childhood. From there, there is a thing that no one actually talks about. There's a point that when a child is so successful, or even a youngster, or maybe an adult, when that person is so successful, that specific person also fears the failure the most. Because imagine you know how it feels when you are successful, how it feels when you go to your parents, tell them how you rocked, how you made your teachers proud of you on a random day, on a random school, on a random event, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, you became a failure. How fearful it is. Well, on August 2023, I changed my school. I went to college. And that was turning point of my life. I still remember the day when I was going to my classroom, and I was going through the ground, and I was thinking, I was 100% confident and 1000% sure that I'll step into the class, I'll give my introduction, and everyone will be shocked, everyone will be proud, and I'll rock it. That was the mindset that I was having. Well, I entered my classroom, I sat down, and one of my classmates gave their introduction. Well, boom. Everything changed in a single moment, in a single introduction. Everything just changed. My classmates were doing wonderful things. They were learning languages like Japanese, French, Spanish, German. They were into international universities. They were attending different international programs. They were doing stuff like MUN, SDGs, STEM, the things that I never heard of. I was completely shocked. For the first time in my whole life, I felt like I have no clue what to do. I am the quiet one. I was just shocked, and I was listening to them, and I was like, what they are doing, where am I? Well, that day I get back to home, and my mom asked me how was my day, and I was completely blank. The child who used to tell their parents about the outshining, the proud moments, how everyone clapped, was suddenly all quiet. She was having nothing to say. Well, that specific thing got me. For like a half year, I cried a lot. I got pressurized, I got depressed. I went into the zone where I was from extrovert to introvert, everything changed. I become an observer, the one who was always the one that is answering the first time on the first go was the child, became the child actually, who is always quiet and observing and questioning herself. Well, I still remember the nights I spent crying all night, and my parents got worried, and they are like trying to console me. And luckily, somehow, I was also curious enough that I don't have to actually give up. That's not me. I have to be the best again. I have to turn myself into the child whom everyone knows. Well, luckily, my parents, my father is here with me, my mother, they gave me the power, they collected the pieces of my shattered confidence, and they said to me that at least try, just contribute, don't be an introvert, at least give your best. Well, I started that. I started contributing in college stuff. I started talking to different, my teachers, my mentor, my students, my classmates. I started talking to them. Well, in the start, I used to be the foolish person who knows nothing, and for that, I got bullied a bit. I cried a lot, but still, I managed to just wrap up everything. And within 1.5 years, I got to the point where from knowing nothing to leading, I launched the first whole diplomacy week of Model United Nations, the diplomacy in my college. From there, I got the leadership and I became the head representative. In my college, we used to call it sheriff. So I became that. Well, from there, I also became president of second SDGs conference that used to held in my city, Mirprakas, where I belong to. I led that. I got into different organizations. Like at one time, I was into 10 plus organization, international and national, on different positions. I did that. I started learning Japanese language. I started learning web development. I started getting into robotics. I started doing all the stuff possible, STEM, MUN, SDGs, everything possible. I started doing that. At one moment, I was the kid who used to wake up at 5, do all the stuff, attend a school, college, and also do college stuff, and then do stuff like web development for 1 hour, and then switch to Japanese, and then switch to other things. I used to lead societies, so I used to conduct classes as well. So at that time, I went from, I went to the chaotic routine. Now, this might sound good, but somehow that chaos was not leading me somewhere. I was good at everything. Just name the thing, and I was doing that already. But at that moment, I realized that this chaos is not for me. I'm doing everything. Yes, I learned Japanese, but I still don't have certification. Yes, I made a Bluetooth control car, but that was the only thing I did, and I still don't know the whole functionality of Arduino. Yes, I led MUN, but at some moment I still used to lag in learning rules and regulation and everything. So, to be concise, I was jack of all and master of none. From there, I got the actual realization that this generation, Gen Zs, are into the chaos where they cannot find the goal. It might sound negative, but also it's a positive thing. When everyone is in chaos, if you are the one who find the goal, you can get to that specific destination faster. For that, I have an example that a BMW with no direction will reach its destination later than a Mehran with direction. Well, From there, I decided my goals. I decided few specific things that I have to do. And from there, my life became from chaotic to sorted. And from there, I got the perfect vision that what I have to do. So, the message of my talk is that when everything feels chaotic, when you feel like you are the smaller one and opportunities, there are opportunities, but there's always the smarter one than you who get that opportunity. So keep that in mind, that in this era, in Gen Z's era, you will have a bundle of opportunity, but you should know which opportunity you have to gain in order to reach your destination. If you want to buy a house, you won't focus on buying a car, or you won't learn the car parts. You have to learn how to make money to buy a house. So that's the summary of my talk, and I hope that was helpful for you. Be direction one and be the one who rocks. Thank you so much.